Hi guys, it's Jeff Allen. Welcome back to Off the Gridiron. Just a part two of my last video I posted. We were talking about last day the simple snare trap, coming along using a existing game trail, and with some overhead vegetation and spring lines, or young saplings, we can really hook up a suspended trail, kind of a trail set. Now what I did is, as you saw in the last video, I submitted this video on the using, see if we can get the stick here, using the suspended stick cross here. We call this a cross member, and just release my, there we go. I use that as a demo animal from the last video. So we started with our toggle, and we talked about how the toggle comes under this trigger stick. Now I did want to make note that this should also be quite strong, quite a stable stick. You do not want it green, and you definitely do not want it flexing. Now, in the last video, we had our snare angled up a ramp on the one side. Okay, and we had that on the ramp, which we're going to build in a second. But then it really dawned on me, unless we have kind of a bait or had this really narrowed off and blocked off, there's nothing to say. There's nothing stopping an animal on the game trail from coming from either direction. So here's a perfect fix for that. So we'll put it all back together again. Here's our suspended cross member again. This also should be very, very strong. Okay, and here's our loop. We're going to open our snare and get that ready. Now what we can do, okay, now I'm going to dismantle this before we do this. So I'm going to hold it up, and what you can see, okay, is we have the one snare suspended from the toggle here. I'm going to add a second one, and that way make a double ramp. So it could be from either direction, which would increase our odds. Let's do that. So what I've been using basically is some three strand bank line here. And it's just a quick sample, just a little in here. Okay, just a standard three strand bank line. Now you could cut the strands apart. It's very strong, as we know, but this is something quick and easy that I wanted to share with you just before we run out of daylight. Okay, with your line, I simply make an overhand knot and make a loop in the end of it, and I'm going to do that at both ends. Okay, just like that. Snug it up tight. At the other end, we're going to repeat the process. So I make a loop, twist it around, and this is just when you do an overhand knot with double strand. Okay, now we're going to dedicate one end to attaching to our toggle. So we'll pull down our toggle, and if I make a loop, okay, a little slip loop there, and just put our whole toggle right through that loop. There we go. That is both ends anchored together. Now the other end, what we do is this exact same thing. Okay, we're going to take that loop, create a bite in our line. It's tough to do this under pressure on the ground. The string wants to really take off in the air, and feed that through itself, opening it up, and there is our new loop for the second side of our ramp on this game trail snare. So let's get it all set up again. Okay, you see me doing this. Okay, here is our cross stick. We're going to go under our cross stick. Okay, and we want to keep our lines nice and separate at this time, so we're not going to have to dig them out from under our ramp later, because that would be really kind of dangerous to do. Now we're going to get our cross member in here, tuck it behind the toggle stick. Now, what I don't like about my set is there's not much of a ramp. However, with it so shallow to the ground, that change in elevation, it may not affect the animals quite as much. As animals may not be used to going up and down irregular ramps that just appear in the middle of the trail. So now we're going to take our sticks, and you can see me. Oh, and that is why you stay well back. Let's try to reset that again. It's way up. Caught all up in the branches now. I normally say don't try this at home, but I encourage you. Practice makes perfect. It's brilliant. Okay, let's try this again. Toggle under our crossing stick. And on our ramp stick. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I think with a better practice, sorry about the video, better practice, I'm going to hold the toggle stick with one hand, and I will align the bait sticks single-handedly. Make sure you've got your snare lines out of the way. So we're going to ramp on both sides, and always keep one hand on this stick until the very end. I think you're quite capable of doing this yourself. Not too hard. Okay. Feels good? Feels good? Again, that worked really good. You want to do this safely. It's certainly the hair trigger, pardon the pun. I'm going to open up the one snare on the one side. And I've got my sticks lined up and ramped from this side. I'm going to open my other snare. And lay it open on my sticks. Here we go. So we've got a snare on this side. Bring it in a little closer here. Okay. So we've got a snare on this side, a snare on the other side, and a main line up the middle. This will keep it very, sorry about the footage. This will keep it very stable, and it is either direction. So that really could increase our odds. So let's sit back and see what happens when something crawls through. Okay, so again, from either side of the trail, these critters could come, from either direction, from behind us or in front of us, come down this pathway as it comes down, all the way down. Okay, and again, all it needs to do is step foot inside this trigger, and just by accident, almost coincidentally stepping on one of these down sticks, okay, right away. It's going to grab that leg, hold it in place, and hopefully you can come and get it. Again, with the greater tension in your spring stick or your saplings above, it's going to get it up off the ground. This is probably going to be a front leg. But we have to be careful that if it gets any leg movement, it may want to, realize it's trapped by something and spend some time trying to bite that off. So we want to check our traps as often as possible. Never let them unset. Never let them set unless you're expecting a visitor. I'm Jeff Allen. This has been Off the Gridiron. Bit of a rocky video with some of the, snare setting, but that's part of it. Practice makes perfect. Take care. Spend some time in the outdoors.